Hi, my name is Zach Luby of Good Stuff Communications, and want to talk with you about strategy for sustainability, the new book by Adam Werbach that I just got done reading and felt like it was interesting enough and helpful enough to share with you my thoughts on it and talk with you about what I see as the difference between this book and most other green or sustainable business books you're going to come across. First, a note about Adam Werbach, the author of the book. He's something of a controversial figure in the sustainable business world. He originally was the president of the Sierra Club, which is hardcore leftist, activist, environmentalist group, and he has become a consultant for big businesses, the most famous of which is Walmart, and some question his motives, talk about him as a sellout, and just basically disparage him for going from these activist roots to becoming a consultant. And I just want to weigh in on that. My thoughts about Adam and about this in general. We need to be seeking ways to build bridges between big businesses and sustainable businesses, and teaching the hippies to be able to talk to the suits and the suits to be able to talk to the hippies, and if we're not doing that, we're missing out on opportunities that we need to take advantage of, because I think we face some significant resource challenges in the coming years, and we need creative, innovative solutions that are at the scale which we are unable to get without the help of big businesses and corporations. So that's my take on that, and I think that Adam does a good job of addressing that in the book and talking about the leverage that he has in working with Walmart and the scale that he's able to impact, and to me it resonates and it makes sense, and I think his heart's in the right place, and I think he's actually trying to make a difference. And honestly, I aspire to do something similar in my own work, so I look at Adam as a little bit of a role model there, or a mentor there. The things that I think really set this book apart are it provides actual tools and tips that you can use to integrate sustainability into your strategy and into your strategy implementation. And that's not something that I've come across in the other greener sustainable business books that I've read. And I've read quite a few. I'm finishing my MBA in sustainable business this April, so I've read quite a few, and the stories and the leaders that he profiles in the book are similar to what you're going to come across in most books. He talks with Xerox, Walmart, Seventh Generation, Nike, and Stonyfield Yogurt, and you get the sense that you get a good look at the landscape of the sustainable business world. But the piece that I think he goes an extra mile, and the thing that I think that the book provides, is how do you actually implement this into your business? What are the things that you can do to look at your strategy and implement sustainability, whether it's an existing business or it's a new business that's starting up? He has two different frameworks that I feel like are very helpful, and those frameworks are coupled with the setting of what he terms North Star goals. These North Star goals are big picture, big time, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going, and this is how we are going to make a difference in the world. It's the guiding light of the business. He asks that you set these goals as achievable in 5 to 15 years. So we're changing the lens of how we look at our business from the quarterly returns to the 5 to 15 year timeline. And I think that that's good practice for any business, to set big goals that are achievable in the 5 to 15 year timeline, and that also tie to a need in the world, and that it fills something in a way, fills a need in a way that another business wouldn't be able to do. The other two frameworks that he uses are what he terms the STAR mapping, S-T, small a, big R, meaning society, technology, and resources, and the changes that are going to happen in those in the future. So if you are dependent on oil, for example, as a resource, then it's worth thinking about what that resource all of a sudden being gone would do to your business. What are the external things that are happening in these three areas that are going to have an impact on your business? What would happen if that resource was unavailable to you in 5 years? How would your business cope with it? And asking, a list of questions that in the strategy process that help illuminate those opportunities and crises for the business. And he also talks about implementation, which I think is important because it is important that when we talk about these sustainability initiatives, they're grounded in the reality of the situation. How is it that we are going to get this done? How are we going to communicate internally? How are we going to make this happen? And the way that he talks about that is another framework, and it's TEN, and that's transparency, engagement, and networking. And I think that it gives some pretty solid advice for the importance of those three aspects of implementation and how to actually get it done. So this is nothing that, it's not rocket science, it's not above the head of most business people, and it's real down-to-earth advice about how to integrate sustainability either into your business as you're undergoing a change or as you're starting out as a new business. We had two other insights that I thought were worth sharing, that I thought were interesting and different from other sustainable business books that I've come across. One was, we tend to be sustainability snobs in the sustainable business world. And by that I mean looking down on people that aren't using sustainable business practices, aren't trying to make personal sustainability a priority, and aren't understanding, like we are, of climate change or whatever it is that we're trying to face. And he tells a story of a woman that worked at Walmart and was a champion of the personal sustainability practices at Walmart, and was selected to go to a renewable energy conference in Colorado with Al Gore, big-time climate scientists and big-time CEOs. And so she's in the room, and the climate scientist is talking about how the average American is never going to understand the complexity of climate change, and that's why scientists and CEOs need to be driving the change. And she stood up and said, when you tell me that I'm not a part of something, I'm not going to be a part of it. And I'm sitting here as a person that has made a difference in my community, and you're telling me that I don't have a place in this, and I do have a place. And I thought that was a great story, because that's a big challenge for us as sustainability professionals and people that are trying to change the world through business, is getting everybody on board in a way that's inclusive rather than exclusive. Just another point of where we need to be building bridges rather than creating divides. And I really enjoyed that story. The other thing that was different and unique to Adam's approach was he talked about the importance of culture in addition to the three pieces of the bottom line, which were of the triple bottom line, which we often hear about, which is people, planet, and profit. He talks about the importance of culture when we're considering our impact, and I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed that new perspective. I think it's really easy to sit back and say, okay, stakeholders are important, we're going to include stakeholder input into our decisions, we want to think about our community and what our impact's going to be, And that's about as far as other books that I've read have gone. And he dives a little bit deeper and says, okay, what's the impact going to be on the culture of the organization or the community that you're having an impact in? And so those were two things that I thought he did a great job of explaining. The book is fantastic. It provides real-life advice that you can use in your business, whether it's a sustainable business or